What's up, everybody? Today I wanted to talk about how women treated me differently once I changed my body, and just what it was like before I started really working out hard and watching what I eat, calorie counting, versus before when I just didn't care and I was my fattest. But anyways, if this is a topic you like, I talk about a lot of stuff like this on my channel. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let's get right into it. Let's start with then versus now. So before, when I was over 230, 240 pounds, you don't get any choosing signals. You don't get stares. You don't get side eye. You don't get head turns. You don't get likes online, on apps. You don't get any of that. You will get zero matches in life and on the internet. It's just not going to happen because it's an aura thing and it's a confidence thing. And when you're not your best self, you have a lot of insecurities that you project to the world. And not just women, but everybody, people in general, can feel that negative energy that you have, and they tend to stay away from it. You don't have that aura, that presence that you bring with you everywhere in life when you're not confident and when you're down and being negative about yourself. That's a big thing that really happens in person, especially when you go out with friends or other people, you're just in social settings. You notice that it's like you're invisible. You've got nothing that anybody wants or nothing that anybody cares to see. So they're just not gonna see you. It's not that hard to understand. But a lot of people try to fight this or say there's other things that you can do besides your aura, your body, your mindset, that are going to attract other people, and especially women. And I mean, you got the guys that say money, you got the guys that say, power and status. And yeah, that stuff helps. I mean, it does help. But you can be taken advantage of pretty easily when you just have those things to offer and when you're not well-rounded with your body and your mindset and your aura included. Those things all help you be a better man, but the first and main thing you should try to accomplish is being a low body fat percentage with a good amount of muscle, because that is going to bring that presence wherever you go out. And you're not going to really care as much either once you get down to a certain body fat and a certain amount of muscle mass, because it's not your priority. A lot of men got it twisted up that should be your number one priority is women. And we've been pushed by society for a long time to think that as well. But if your health and your well-being don't come first, you're going to lose every time, because no one else is here to worry about you. You have to really, really worry about yourself first, and then let everything fall into line after that. Now, like I said, those other things are going to help you: success, status, power, money. That's going to help. But we're visual creatures, first and foremost. When you walk outside or go to the gym or go for a jog at the park or go to the pool or go to the lake, When you see somebody for the first time, the first thing that runs through everybody's head is, well, they either look really good, they're in good shape, they take care of themselves, or gosh, they got to put in some work because they look terrible. Now, that's everybody. That's for men and for women. But for some reason, we've got it so upside down now that everybody thinks things that don't matter. If you walk in somewhere and you're under even 18 to 20% body fat as a man, you're going to be on the leaner side of men. Once you get down to 15, forget it. Once your veins are popping out of your arms and you got a nice fitted shirt on, people know, okay, this guy takes care of himself. Women notice. They're like, okay, he's dedicated to something more. He's dedicated to the gym and at least taking care of his body, so I'll give him that. And I say the same thing when it comes to women, like, oh, okay, she looks nice, looks like she works out. But for some reason, everyone pretends like that's not what we see. And I don't know when we got away from this, but we're all visual creatures and we all notice things right up front. When you put on your pants and you don't have to wear a size 42 belt or a size 42 pants, and they're baggy and they don't really fit you and your stomach's hanging over them, or when you put on a double XL shirt and your stomach's still hanging out. Like, those are the things we have to start noticing, those little things, and say, okay, I can control this. I can change this. Let me get down to that large shirt. Let me get down to that medium shirt. How do I look in the mirror? Is it fitted? Yeah, the arms look good. The boulder shoulders look good. And everything looks good. Everything's tapered. From high to low, everything comes from big to small towards your waist. I was talking to a chick not too long ago, and she told me the bar is so low right now as far as men and their appearance and just men in general. And I mean, I'd say the same thing for women. The bar is not very high. I'm not asking very much, but we'll get into that, another time. That's a different topic. But if the bar is that low, then if you do very minimal, you're going to stand out. So just think about that. If you lock in and just go crazy in the gym 5 days a week for 6 months to a year and really dial in your nutrition with your protein and your calories, in 6 to 12 months, you are going to be a completely changed man. And that's all we should strive to be, is a changed, better man. Because like I said, once you get choosing signals, once you get those stares, once you get those likes, once everything starts falling into place, you're never going to want to go back to that old man that you were. And it's going to be very hard for you to. Because once you go on that long of a journey for 6, 8, 12, 14, 16 months, your routines change. Your relationship with food changes. Your routine in the gym changes. The people you hang around with change. Everything starts to elevate, and you start to ask yourself, what else can I do to be better for this? As a man, in what's left of whatever time I have left on this earth, then you start to branch out and say, what other things can I be better at? But until you at least reach that plane of seeing what you can accomplish with your body and your mind, you are going to just be continuously stuck. And it took me a long time to realize that. Like, my relationship with food was terrible for so long, you know. When I was growing up, my parents and grandparents didn't really have a lot of money, so they always expected us to clean our plate, to eat everything on the plate. And now I don't even do that. I just stop when I'm not hungry. I just stop eating. But, different mindset, but just noticing those little things and just saying, hey, my relationship with food wasn't the best, and I'm a man and I'm going to change that. Buy a food scale, weigh your food out, count your calories, be in a deficit. But those are like the bare minimum things you have to do. And I'm not saying it's always going to work out or you're going to be 100% all the time. Shoot, there's going to be a lot of people who don't even like you, men and women. They're just not into you for whatever reason. And I'm not saying you're going to be friends or be dating everybody, because everybody has their own preferences as well. But just really project out your future 6 months, 12 months, 14 months, 16 months, 24 months, and say, what can I accomplish in this time that can absolutely change my life? And I would say even write this stuff down. Write down those goals of where you think you're going to be, so at least you see how far you've come. And you might not even be where you want to. You could be 25% body fat and want to be 15, and then you get another scan and you're like 18. Well, dang, you're close. That just goes to show you how far you've come and what you've accomplished. And that has to give you motivation also. And the thing you got to understand is, unless we're running around as men chasing women, women tend to do the choosing. That's one thing I've noticed the older I get. Women tend to do the choosing, because you can definitely go chase after chicks and them not be into you, and you get their number and then they completely waste your time. But I just don't see the point in that anymore. I went out with a couple of friends last night, and those guys like to dance, and I was doing a little bit of dancing too, but I just tended to chill in the back because I didn't really want to run around and do all that. A couple of chicks came up to me, said hi, and I danced with them. It is what it is. But even when you go out and you're not forced to just chase, the energy is completely different. If you're just chilling, and I tend to have more of a good time when I'm just hanging out with some of my buddies with no expectations, not trying to do too much. Those are some of the best times I usually have. When you go out with expectations, there's another energy shift. That whole thing changes again. It's these little minute things that you start to notice in social situations that can either make you have like a great night or a bad night. But it all just comes down to people and what we're truly capable of and what we think we're not capable of, because either way, you either are or you aren't. But that's another mindset shift too, because you can accomplish those goals. You can do those things you want to do. And same thing, if you think you can't, then you're right again. You can't. I'll just use another example for the gym. Once you notice that you go from, like, I was at 28% body fat and I got down to like around 20 my last scan. I was shocked. You know, that's 8% body fat. That was like 2 to 3 pant sizes. That was a massive change. Was it where I wanted to be? No. But there's another victory. That's another win. That's another confidence builder that you can use to push through to the next stop, which is for me 15%, and then after that 10 to 12. You have to be able to take those risks though and push through the failures you have. And then you can truly see what you're capable of. Because nobody learns anything if they don't fail. There's plenty of people that don't try and fail and do anything, and they're never learning anything because they're not failing. Well, that's just something I wanted to talk about today. Choosing signals, women, changing your mindset, attraction, and just some of the basics on life. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you on the next one.